A balanced chemical equation shows that each side of the reaction, which is the reactants and the product side, must have the same number of atoms of each element, and mass is conserved. So the steps in balancing chemical equation are the following. Step 1, identifying the number of atoms in its element. Step 2, multiplying the number of atoms. Step 3, placing the coefficients in front of molecules. Step 4, check equation. And step 5, balance chemical equation. We will discuss these steps in the following slides. So here we have unbalanced equation, N2 plus H2 forming NH3. So step 1 is identifying the number of atoms in each element. So how are you going to do it? You have to list all the elements on each side under the equation for both the reactants and products as shown above. Now, under the reactant side, list the atoms, which are nitrogen and hydrogen. Under the product side, list nitrogen and hydrogen, the atoms. And next to each element of the list, you put the number of atoms that are in each of the elements. So that is why on the reactant side, next to nitrogen, you put 2. And next to hydrogen, you put 2. And you will apply these same rules to each element on the product side. So here it goes. So on the reactant side, you have 2 nitrogen. So list it as 2 nitrogen. And then you have 2 hydrogen, and so you have listed 2 hydrogen. On the product side, you have only 1 nitrogen, so list is as 1 nitrogen. And then you have 3 hydrogen, so you list it as 3 hydrogen. And then step 2 is multiplying the number of atoms. In order to make both sides equal, you will need to multiply the number of atoms in each element until both sides are equal. So, the number of atoms of nitrogen on the reactant is 2. On the product, it's only 1. So, it is multiplied by this number. So, 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Now, they are equal, right? Equals to 2. What about hydrogen? To make it equal, because this is 2 and on the product you have 3, so multiply by 3 on the reactant, so 3 times 2 is equal to 6. And this one is 3 times 2 is also equal to 6. Okay? Now, therefore, step 3, you will place the coefficient in front of the molecules. So, what are the coefficients? This is after you have multiplied the number of atoms of each element until both sides are equal. You will put this number, and this number is the coefficient. And then how much you multiply the element by and place in front of that element or compound in the equation as shown above. Okay, so we have nitrogen, understood this is 1, the coefficient is 1, and then the coefficient 3 there, and then the number that is multiplied by 3 for hydrogen is coefficient written in front, 2 written in front of hydrogen, and if it is 1, you don't need to write 1. And so, step 4 is check equation. After you have placed the coefficients in front of the molecules. Make the list of the elements again and check to see if multiplying the coefficient with the subscript will give you atoms equal on both the reactant and product sides. And if both sides are equal, then you have now balanced the chemical equations. So here it is. Let us list it again. N is 2. List it as N is equal to 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, right? So hydrogen is 6. 2 times 1 nitrogen, so nitrogen is 2. And 2 times 3 hydrogen is equal to 6 hydrogen. So as you can see, they are now equal. Therefore, we say the reaction is balanced. 1 nitrogen plus 3 hydrogen plus 2 NH3. The reaction is balanced. Now note, if the coefficient is 1, you don't need to write 1. And make sure the coefficients are not written in the middle of the formula. So that means do not write in between the formula, okay? Do not write. And also, never change the subscripts. So these are the subscripts. Never change that. So let's practice. We have unbalanced chemical equation, aluminum plus oxygen to form aluminum oxide. So step 1, identifying the number of atoms in each element. So you have only 1 aluminum and you have 2 oxygen. And you have 2 aluminum and you have 3 oxygen. Step 2, multiplying the number of atoms. So to make aluminum here equal, then you have to multiply this by 2. And 1 times 2 is 2. And now it is equal to 2 aluminum. So the aluminum on the reactant is equal to the aluminum on the product. What about oxygen on the reactant? So multiply the number coefficient to 2, it is equal to 6. What about on the product side? Coefficient number 2 multiplied to subscript 3, now it is equal to 6. Okay, so step 3, placing the coefficient in front. So aluminum, there is 2, put it on front of aluminum. So you have 2 aluminum. What about the coefficient 3? Put it in front of oxygen. And the coefficient of oxygen is 2, and also for aluminum is 2, right? Now, these are the coefficients written in front. Step 4 is check the equation. If they are not equal, like aluminum here is 2 and aluminum here is 4, they are not equal, right? So you have to rework your multiplication. So the number to multiply by 2 to make it equal to 4 is 2. So 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Now, they are now equal. Therefore, change the coefficient to make it equal. Make this 4. And now, they are equal. So the balance equation now is 4 aluminum plus 3 oxygen products 2 aluminum oxide. The reaction is balanced.